Hey everyone, okay, so recently I had the wonderful opportunity to sit down with the legendary Paula Begoun. Now, as many of you know, she is an idol of mine and the founder and creator of Paula's Choice, which is products I've been using for nearly 17 years. 17 years, a very, very long time. Now, this interview is over 2 hours long, but unfortunately, or fortunately, you may not want to sit through all of that, so I've condensed it so you can just see bits and pieces of it. I just wanted to share it with you because it was absolutely fascinating. One thing that is really, really interesting, other than the horrendous noise that's going on outside at the moment, so sorry, is she is a living, breathing example of the importance of looking after your skin with regards to sunscreen. She has not a single mark on her face. Nothing. It is the most beautiful skin I've ever seen live in person. It is flawless. It is honestly, it's like nothing you've ever seen before. Therefore, the importance of sunscreen, even more so other than these scars I've got now from having moles removed, is it just brought everything home of how important it is because she looked phenomenal. So here is part of the interview and I hope you like it. If you really do want to see the whole thing, let me know in the comment section. We'll see what we can do. Okay, see you soon. Bye-bye. Okay, so here I am with Paula Begoun.
In Wales.
In Wales.
No less.
Absolutely incredible. Thank you for coming. And right hand man.
Yes.
Brian.
Yes.
My alter ego. My alter ego.
So what I'd like to know is how you got started in, what your fascination was in skincare, any background that you can sort of shed light on.
You know, it's a long history because it started when I was very young. At the age of 11, the day I got my period, my menstrual cycle, I got acne, terrible acne. Terrible periods and terrible acne. And also I had debilitating eczema. Actually, I had debilitating eczema even before that. To hold a pencil in school, I had to wear gloves because my hands were so... Yeah, it was terrible. So between having acne from the neck up and eczema from the neck down, trying to find products or dermatologists to do anything to wake up and not have raw skin and bumps on my face. I remember, even to this day, I still run my hand over my face when I first wake up, hoping, even though now I break out, you know, since I've been doing and learned about skincare, but back in those days, just please let me wake up and not feel, and the torture of waking up and knowing that, yeah, it's not. And the products I used only made it worse. Yeah. And I used everything. And everything said it was going to work, and nothing, literally nothing worked. And so in my 20s, to go to university, I became a makeup artist. So some of it is I was very good at doing makeup just to cover. And then I just had a knack to be able to reproduce what I saw in a fashion magazine. And that experience of being in the industry, behind the counter, and there were products that did work. Makeup worked, pretty much makeup worked. In those days, you'd be shocked at the number of orange and pink foundations that, oh God, what people thought skin color was. And then the most astounding thing happened. In 1975 in the United States, the Food and Drug Administration made skincare ingredients on labels mandatory. So all of a sudden, there was the information about what was in a product. And back in the day, ingredients weren't very complicated.
Like they are now.
Oh yeah, no, now it's, the formulations are much more sophisticated, much more complicated. There's thousands of more ingredients. So here I am, I have a science background in university. I'm understanding some amount of what the industry is claiming that can't ever be true. And then I just began this obsessive quest to this day, 35 years later, to understand what was in a skincare product. So I, had access to medical, I knew how to use a medical, a university medical library and science journals, and did all this research and wrote my first book in 1984 called Blue Eyeshadow Should Be Illegal.
Which I have.
And,
do you?
Oh, no, wait, do not bring it out.
I do not
bring it, do not.
It is a
He's
great.
not allowed to bring it out.
It is a great book.
But you've seen the cover, right?
I have seen the
Oh,
cover.
God,
I have it,
oh,
and I have the Beauty Bible as well, both first
I'm
edition,
familiar.
second edition. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Oh my God.
take that first edition out around the office when we really
Every
want
now and then
something
to keep
Paula.
Paula humble, we will put this out there. In the, oh my God, 1984. Oh,
It's a
geez.
great book, though.
Thank you.
I-
So, I'm sorry,
No,
please.
I would think the one thing that still baffles me even now, and I've been reading your books for 17 years nearly now, is that a product or a company or that could produce a product that just isn't that great, because they have, some of these companies have the biggest laboratories and the most, this huge amount of money where they could truly create a product that could
I know.
be amazing.
Life-changing.
Yeah, and yet we're getting products that still contain, which we'll talk about, irritating ingredients, and it just
Jar packaging.
Yeah, where the product is just not great anymore because the sunlight has got in it, whatever it is, and it just confuses me as to why we've come so far in skincare and we know so much more about it, but we still feel like we're back at square one because products are still being made with irritating ingredients in,
Yeah.
or fragrance in, or
So the good news is, and particularly in makeup actually, but the good news is that there are better products. There really are better products than ever before from when I started. The research over the past 15 years about skincare, 20 years, has been phenomenal. It really has, without sounding too cliche about it, it changed the face of the cosmetics industry. Lord knows it changed the way I formulated products, changed the way I reviewed other products.
And it really turned skincare into rocket science. It's much more complicated. It is more confusing. And yes, 20 years ago, it did used to be simpler.
Oh, by far.
Absolutely, and we'll hear from some of our longtime customers saying, your line used to be so simple and so basic, and I miss that. And the fact of the matter is, if we're keeping up with the times and the latest research, and why would you respect us if we weren't?
yeah.
It is more complicated. There are more options.
So the thing about what other companies are doing, they don't let me in, so I can't speak to to what is actually going on when I see some of the things I see that just, sometimes just, I'm enraged. It's maddening. I think that what people might be surprised to find out in the cosmetics industry is that most products are actually created, at least in concept, by marketing people.
Absolutely.
Here's a story about an ingredient. Let's build a product around that. And the cosmetic chemist is a chemist, not necessarily a physiologist or biologist who understands skin science. So often the disconnection is that a marketing person wants a good story, a beautiful package, and a beautiful marketing, concocted story about some exotic ingredient somewhere. And then the chemist's job is, okay, let's take that ingredient, let's make it stable, let's get it in something that marketing likes,
Yep.
and let's get it to market. The way we've done it, and that I believe people should look at how they should look at skincare, is skincare has to be a system. It can never be that one product, that one magic bullet that solves everything. And so what Paula's Choice has done is we have systems. Basic system that covers the basic needs that everyone in the world needs. Everyone. Every skin type needs antioxidants, what we call barrier repair or skin identical ingredients, the
Yep.
ingredients that are natural in skin, and then cell commuting ingredients like retinol that actually absorb into skin and tell skin cells to make better skin cells.
Behave.
Everybody needs that. But what makes different routines is depending on your skincare concern or your skin type, then the texture of the product changes. So if you have normal to dry skin, you're going to want more creamy, enriched products. If you have normal skin, you're going to want more lotion style products. And if you have skin like mine that's oily in combination, you're going to want gel or liquid or very thin, light matte finish, thin serum-y lotion style products. So that essential basic with sunscreen, then you filter in other products dependent on your skincare concern. Advanced, sun damage, advanced sun damage, wrinkles, brown spots, acne, blackheads, on and on. And the idea that any one product could ever deal with the complexity of skin is nonsense. I mean, it's just...
Well, it's like looking at food and saying, I'm only going to eat beef or broccoli, and I expect one of those two foods to meet all my nutritional needs, all my health needs, for the rest of my life. I want food to be that simple.
And it just isn't.
And it never will be.
Yeah.
Even though we all want, because we all want the magic bullet, we all want that one single product that will heal everything and cook your dinner for you.
It's the number one question that we're asked all the time by beauty editors, by women around the world. What's the best product? What's the one ingredient everyone should be using? They always want to distill it.
Yeah.
It really is the most typical question. What is the best antioxidant? Well, the good news is there's hundreds of very good and really excellent antioxidants, and there's dozens of great skin identical ingredients, and I know that makes it harder for the consumer, but the second I say vitamin C is a great ingredient, and it is, first of all, there's at least 12 different forms of vitamin C that can show up in a skincare product, each with its own benefit depending on the formulary, and that's only one great antioxidant. And I mean,
because it harkens back to the second most common question we're asked is what should you be looking for in a product? And they want us to give them a definitive list.
Yeah.
So like here's your checklist of 10 ingredients to make sure in your skincare products, and then you just pick products off the shelf and okay, there it is, there it is.
It wouldn't even work that way for our line.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the range of potential ingredients you can put together and for different skin types. So one of the things we do with Paula's Choice is that I've really paid attention to is because I'm very sensitive to the notion, that not every skin type can use the same product. So, for example, we have very strong feelings about the benefit that the research shows about exfoliants, leave-on exfoliants like salicylic acid and alpha hydroxy acid, glycolic lactic acid are the most researched ones we know about. But not everybody can use it in a lotion, not everybody can use it in a gel, not everybody can use it in a cream, some people can use one strength and not another.
Right.
And so what we've done is used the basic beneficial ingredient, always marry it to other beneficial ingredients because it can never be one note that helps skin, and then made it for different skin types and skin preferences.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. It's something a lot of cosmetic companies leave out. Everything is a cream, everything is a lotion, nothing is a gel or a liquid to address the huge number of people with normal to oily combination.
I mean, I use the toner. That's my moisturizer because everything else, in terms of moisturizer, they're too heavy, and I will be too oily as the day goes on. So for the nighttime, totally different story. I can use a bit more but in the day, I need a toner, and that makes my skin feel soft, and that will stop me from looking like my face is falling off by 2 o'clock. Because it's too oily and there's too much going on.
I've been using, ever since I formulated my skin balancing toner, that is my daytime moisturizer.
Yeah.
Now I do use my Moisture Boost moisturizer around my eye area, and then when I get...
Here it is.
Voila! Oh,
You're looking a little dry.
How did you? No, I'm not. I put it on this morning. So I tend to...
It was a very dehydrating car ride here.
After I had read that, guess what, benzoyl peroxide might be a good thing for acne-prone skin, a week later, acne gone. And I used a lot of it, mind. I didn't just use I slathered it on, and there were side effects to using that much, but they were bearable compared to the acne that I was suffering. And after,
did you buy Paula's Choice, or did you find a benzoyl
I found
peroxide
I found a benzoyl peroxide in the drugs. It was like £2.50 for 2.5%, and it was gone within the week. And I used a lot. But it was then that because the skin heals and it can heal really fast. That's when I started Googling benzoyl peroxide and exfoliants. That's when I found your site, and I remember placing the first order for 2% BHA liquid from yourselves. And I ordered the book, the Beauty Bible, which was the first edition. Then I ordered Don't Go to the Cosmetics Counter, and it was the first time that I'd ever seen anybody explain what the skin needs, why it needs it, and why these ingredients may irritate your skin, which suddenly I was thinking, when I was scrubbing my face and they were telling me, that of course the spots are worse, they're coming out of the skin, they're coming to the surface. That's why, your skin looks more red, this is a good thing. And of course they were containing menthol and alcohol. Sure, my skin felt clean, it didn't look it. It looked horrendous at the time. But
I think that's what especially given all three of us have shared the struggle of acne, is that one of the many myths around acne that has some, sometimes myths have a bit of reality to them, but then get greatly distorted. And one of them is that all of those ingredients that leave a cool feeling on the skin, alcohol that makes the skin feel instantaneously clean, has a sensation of feeling good, that you've done something right and the grease is gone.
That's right.
Of course, an hour later the grease is back and the skin is raw and red and the blemishes haven't gone away. So it is a huge change and turnaround, and the industry hasn't helped to get over that. Drying and irritating the skin actually makes matters worse. One of, over the years, there's, I feel like the Dayan here, the senior, I'm the queen mom now, the way I'm talking. Over the years, there's been some astounding research that really changed everything about the cosmetics industry. Just aside from you coming into my life, which changed the cosmetics industry.
Well, I think what
you do know that you coming into my life is part of how but we've been able to change the cosmetics industry. You do know that, don't you?
You do know.
Yeah, I do now. Honestly, it's not something, I think I just get very hyper-focused on.
I would have left the industry. I could not have done it on my own, and who else was I going to find? I mean, really, if I could have found you on Match.
I don't know, are you a good writer?
he's a YouTuber.
It's like we had almost the same skin experiences, just in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
And I'm a little older, but.
And you are younger. And the frustration that we shared, and then we shared a writing style, as you know. It's so separate from the research. Oh my God! But what I was going to say is that along the way, the three major aspects of new studies that shocked me and changed the way I view skincare and the way I created my own products and the way that I review other products. The first one is around sun damage. That really came into full gear in the 90s around what the difference is between UVA, what's sun damage, that most of what we think of as aging is actually not aging, it's actually sun damage. And that the damage begins within the first minute that unprotected skin sees daylight, whether it's coming through the windows or you walk outside.
And I think that's still an area where, when we're talking about magic, we want this cream to be magic, where we don't realise that the sunscreen is probably the most...
The magic.
But we don't see that because we're still looking for that something else.
And we don't want to give it, especially in Europe, you guys don't want to give up the Mediterranean for anything.
And you have good sunscreens, which we'll talk about, but say 10 years ago, sunscreens, I mean, I can't think of anybody that said, yeah, I love putting sunscreen on. It's a great... They're thick, they're heavy, especially 10 years ago, they broke you out. They did break people out.
Yeah.
They were so thick and
Yes.
emollient
And
that somebody with oily skin, no wonder I didn't want to wear one.
Being on, I remember as a teen being on Retin-A for my acne, and my dermatologist said, look, you've got very, very light skin, duh. You have to wear sunscreen with this. I mean, that's the deal. And I remember having to shop for a sunscreen and just kind of settling.
Thank you so much for coming.
What
I really do appreciate it.
Oh,
It
thank you for
it
having
is
us. This has
a
been wonderful.
huge honour for me, so thank you.
This is. That's where
I
you
know,
Can you
that's
believe
Paula
it?
Begoun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Mike.
so much.